Hey, this is Ethanel. Thanks for joining me. We're going to be talking about a website funnel. So a couple things. I'm going to switch over here to my screen. We'll walk you through it. But number one, we'll go through the website funnel, the flow, landing page, upsells, downflows, downsells, cross-sells, things like that. And then number two is we're going to talk about some rules, some profitability, margin, cost of goods sold rules that I've used in the past. Kind of use that to set my pricing and to set my funnel up so that I don't get into trouble later. And then number three is I will take you through an actual P&L implementing some of those rules so you can see how they work. Okay, so let's switch over and get started. Thanks.
Okay, so here's my supplement funnel that I've used, works well for me in the past. So let's start with the landing page. So the landing page, if we start with this cell up here, is going to have your core product. One bottle or one carton of your product that you're going to sell. So you'll have that with a price. Below that, you'll have your core product, a buy two, get one with the price, and then below that you'll have the buy four, get two, and then the customer can select one of three options, which will then move them through into the funnel. Anchor price, and I'll talk about pricing after the funnel. That's, I think, where it's going to make or break your business. So the anchor price at the buy one, that's kind of your topmost price. If you were to sell in retail, that would equal the price that you would sell any specialty retailer, which arguably would be the most expensive retailer carrying your product. So those two prices are the same. That's your anchor price. If you buy two, get one, buy four, get two, that's generally 30% off of the price of one. So buy four, get two, basically you're getting six for the price of four, 30% off. So that's the way this opening pages work. So once the customer selects, they go next into your next page, so you do the first upsell. So if they just do the core product buy one, you can offer them a continuity at, say, one a month, or is it 1 to 2 weeks, or 1 to 3 months. However, whatever serving sizes are in your product and how long that lasts will dictate that time period. So this is upsell one if they just select buy one. If they do a buy two, get one, you upsell them on 6, stock up. And then if you do a buy four, get two, you would say you want to stock up, add 12. Basically, the idea is if they only select one, you're not going to want to upsell them on more. They don't want that. But if they take any one of these, then obviously they want some volume, so you want to test what's the upper limit. So that's why you do upsells here of 6 and 12. And, you could do 5, 10, whatever you want, but I just find that 6 and 12 has worked well, and seems to also represent nice upper limits of what customers are willing to take. So in this case, you're really maximizing your order value, with these volume quantities. And if you look here, the pricing is 30 to 50% off the anchor price. So if they were by 12, they're basically getting those 12 at somewhere between 30 and 50% off of, the price of 1 times 12. And then I'll get into price again a little bit, but that 30 to 50% corresponds to if you ever go to retail, and I recommend you probably want to look at retail, this would work well, so you're not going to conflict in some retail channels. But we'll get to that in a minute. So upsell 2. So if the payment want to say yes or no, in this case, whether they select yes or no, I will upsell on a related product. And then they say yes or no, you add a third related product. So in this string, you have the core product, continuity, if you want to do that, and then another related product, and then they would, at that point, close out, finish the funnel in their sale. If they buy two, get one, if they select yes here, you show them related products. If they select no, you want to do a downsell from 6 to 3, because again, you're trying to find that sweet spot of how many they want to take. Here, once they finish this, you want to do a related product, just a single, yes, no, and then they finish out the funnel. Very similar, buy 4, get 2. You stock up on 12. Yes, you do related product. No, you would do a downsell to 6. And then finishing out the funnel, your third related product, yes, no, and then you go to completion. And you notice here I've also put 30 to 50% off anchor price. That's same for the upsell. You bring a related product, you list the anchor price. That's what I find works best, and then you slash through it and say 30% off, 50% off, get it now, that type of thing. So this kind of is my my standard supplement funnel that has generally worked well. But again, this could fail depending upon your product and your market and some of your copy language, or you again look at competitors in your industry and see what they're doing. You might find something better. Okay, so let's go to the next sheet on some rules and pricing. Here's where I think the back end on your pricing and margin, this is where it's going to make or break your business, in my experience. So, the front end is nice, the funnel, all, the products, all the copy, but you really got to get this right. And so let me list out a couple rules here. Okay, number 1, most important rule is when you forecast out your product, you want to get at least a 30% EBITDA on the anchor price. Now, EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. That's your net income. That's really important to try and hit that 30% because between returns, that number is going to go down. But also, if you ever go into retail, your pricing off of your direct business, what you sell online, is going to be based off retail. And if you start selling in mass or club channels or grocery channels, this 30% is going to go down. So you want to start high so that you've got room when you go into retail. So you're not at a point where you're only at 5% EBITDA or you're not making any money. Okay, at the volume offer, so you buy 4, get 2, add 6, add 12, or do downsell to 3. You always want to try and hit a 20% EBITDA on the order itself. Again, if 30% or more is your anchor price, as you start offering discounts, you want to still hit that 20%. So you're profitable there, and you're nicely profitable. I assume 36% for operations costs for a direct-to-consumer business. If you got retail layered in, then assume 50%. And then I'll go through this in more detail down here in this simple P&L. As I already discussed, if you want to sell into retail, try and when you sell to retail, when you factor in your pricing to them, some of your trade spend, you want to try and hit at least a 20% or more EBITDA on the pricing you sell into retail. Okay, if you're selling one product, so let's say you have a core product, you don't have other products to sell like a upsell 2 or upsell 3. In my experience, try to just maximize your average order with that customer at that time. So you really want to give them sweetened offers on volume deals. So, really push the buy 6, buy 12, maybe 50% off. At this point, you got one customer, you want to try and maximize what you're going to charge them this first time around. So if you can get their average order above $100, that seems to be a magic number in my experience that works for direct. So you want to really try and focus on that. If you have additional products to sell, so you've got your core product that you're advertising that you brought them in, but you've got other related products, you can test not maximizing the sale off of this one time, and instead you can remarket to them through emails, and then over time you'll get greater lifetime value increase. I would say test that. In my experience, it kind of varies. In some cases, it's better off just to get as much money as I can out of that customer the first time, but other products, other markets, I've just tried to make the sale, but then remarketed them through email. So that's something that you'll have to test to figure out what works well for you. Now, continuity. you may not want to mess with that at all. I've had kind of a lot of bad luck with continuity because customers get orders, they don't want them, they want to return them, you got refunds, you got customer service issues, disgruntled customers. So be real careful of continuity, but it could work well, but it also could be disaster. So I think it's kind of both extremes from my perspective. Okay, so those are some general rules. Let me just quickly run through a basic P&L and applying some of those rules. And this, in fact, is my supplement P&L. So in this example, you've got your suggested retail price per day, pills per day that they would take as a serving size. So you've got the SRP per pill, day supply, how many units per bottle. So, these things start to calculate down. So a suggested SRP, in this case, I put in $29, but again, it could be $39, $49, $59. Got shipping and handling, so this brings out your revenue, which is the same as your wholesale revenue. If you're going into retail, I use this model as well. Then I've got my cost of goods sold, serving per day. These are some other figures. So if I sell direct or to specialty, my price is 0. But if I were to sell into club, there's a certain percentage discount all the way from specialty into club. And I've got some rules for that I follow. So this is 0 in this case, but this is why it's here. So cost of goods sold to SRP multiple is 10. I find in supplements, if you're selling direct or in specialty, 7 to 10 is a good multiple, kind of a good range. Again, it's more of a rule of thumb, but helps guide me. So let's look at a sort of a P&L flipped around from the company perspective. So for wholesale revenue is $36.95 pulled from up here. Returns are 10%. That's a good number to use. Sometimes I've seen it a lot higher. Sometimes it's a little lower. But the returns also, this is factoring in cancels and declines. So there's, usually some percentage in there. I would say to be on the safe side, you might want to figure 15% on this. So let's pop that up. Cost of goods sold in this case is 7%. That's just pulled from up here. So we get a gross margin. Operations, again, here I'm just selling direct to consumer, 36%. That's the number that I've used in the past, and that also works well as once I'm actually selling. So in this case, we've got an EBIT of 41%. So with this pricing and cost of goods sold, we got a great EBIT. So it's more than 30%. That's where we want to be. If you start changing this, you go $24, you'll see that's going to drop down a little bit. If you get rid of your shipping and handling, it's going to drop down further. If your cost of goods sold is going to go up, so let's say it's 13 cents, that's how you play with it. But it's really important to kind of take these rules into consideration, make sure that you do a nice pro forma out. And then so this would be your anchor price for D2C, but what if I'm going to do a buy two, get one? I'd copy this and do this over here. I'm going to do a, buy 4, get 2. I'm going to do the upsell of 6, upsell of 12, downsell. So I'm going to really essentially start to forecast this all the way out. And then if I've got all the different offers, if I want to start going into retail, I've got my specialty channel, natural channel, my grocery, drug, club, so forth. So you want to be able to project out your pricing in those channels and what everything would be so that you can look at this on one sheet to see what is breaking where. Because if you find that, down the line you want to get into grocery over here, but for some reason your EBIT looks like, it's gone to nothing, or it's gone way down, or you kind of can't keep some of these percentages in check, then you have to back all the way up here and say, okay, well, let me readjust pricing here, start adjusting back down. That's what I find works really well. You have to really spend the time up front to get all this right, because this is like the back end of your business. This, the front end is all the marketing, it's the funnels, and you have to optimize that, but then you also have to make sure that you're going to make money, so you have to optimize this back end. Okay, so that hopefully will give you some guide on my supplement funnel as well as some of the rules and how I project these out into a P&L statement. I will include the link for this model immediately following this video or at the end of this video. So just copy that link and you should be able to download this. If it doesn't work, then just let me know and I'll send it to you. Thank you.